Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. We're so excited to have you again. The comment of Obasanjo in respect to Buruji Kashuma's death, a former senator and leader of the People Democratic Party in Ogun State, has triggered a lot of responses from different individuals. You can name them. Started up with Fayose, and then Bola Tinubu was a part of it. Other persons also spoke about it, and most Nigerians had believed that Obasanjo would slip into depression as a result of the way people were firing back at him. But he has finally reacted to, all the criticism people had pushed his way. And according to the information, the former Nigerian president Olusegun Obasanjo has responded to the criticism that I have trailed his controversial condolence message on the passing of Buruji Kashamu, a former senator and leader of the People Democratic Party in Ogun State. Mr. Obasanjo, in the condolence message, said, "Let Mr. Kashamu, who was wanted in the United States for alleged drug offenses, was able to escape justice but could not evade death. Senator Buruji Kashamu, in his lifetime, used the maneuver of law and politics to escape from facing justice on alleged criminal offense in Nigeria and outside Nigeria," Mr. Obasanjo said. But no legal, political, cultural, social, or even medical maneuver could stop the cold hands of death when the creator of all of us decided that the time is up. May Allah forgive his sin and accept his soul into Al Jannah, and may God grant his family and friends fortitude to bear the irreparable loss. That was the word of Obasanjo. And several Nigerians had attacked Mr. Obasanjo for his remark, which they say demonstrated disrespect for the dead. A former governor of Ekiti State, Fayose, said he, Obasanjo, should also remember that his own end will come too, and nobody knows how the end will be. Mr. Fayose, who took to Twitter to post his comment, said the former president was not a saint and should therefore stop behaving like one. Can't Obasanjo say in good conscience that he did not at some point collaborate with Kashamu, and most of the things Kashamu, did politically were not with his collaboration? Mr. Fayose asked. I thought that our culture is that every fight ends once one of the party dies. Joe Abba, a political analyst, said when he was responding to Mr. Obasanjo's comment. Bola Tinubu, a former governor of Lagos State and a national leader of the All Progressive Congress, in his condolence message said, "People should be kind to the dead while since every man would die someday." But Mr. Obasanjo, in his response to the criticism, said it was okay for people to mourn every dead, but that the living, including himself, must draw the right lessons from the lives of those who have died. He said it is only in doing this that society can make progress. According to him, he said, when I was growing up in our community, when anyone known with bad character died, we usually only mourn him and bury him. No eulogy, no praise singing. There is an English saying that urges us never to talk ill of the dead. But in this case, we are not talking ill of the dead. We are only drawing lessons from the life and history of the dead. I am not gloating over his death. It is sad for anyone to die, and we must mourn him. But we must learn from such a passage. There will be bad lessons, there will be good lessons. But we should not just be praise singing and eulogizing the dead, especially when there is no need to do so. We should not cover up bad histories and conducts so that the right lesson can be learned. Those were the words of Obasanjo. And Premium Time told Mr. Obasanjo that they were already suggestions by his critics that on his passage he might be mourned in the manner he did to Mr. Kashamu. And then the former president responded, and I quote, he said, "As you know, I say my mind as truthfully as I know them and in line with my convictions. People are free to say whatever they want about my comment. I don't begrudge people for holding opinions on whatever I say or do. Let people say whatever they like when I transit. Now that I am alive, I not being abused? Whenever I transit, let people say whatever they know or think about me. Let them say it as it is. What my maker thinks of me is what matters most." Mr. Kashamu, a controversial politician who was for years was wanted by the US government for alleged drug offense, but managed to beat repeatedly extradition attempt, died in Lagos Saturday from coronavirus complication. He was buried on Sunday in his hometown Ijebu Ibo, Ogun State. And Mr. Obasanjo had in January 7, 2014, letter to the leader of the PDP and the president, then President Goodluck Jonathan, announced he was withdrawing from the ruling All Progressive or ruling People Democratic Party following the elevation of Mr. Kashamu, whom he described as a wanted habitual criminal as the Southwest leader of the party. In a letter, Mr. Obasanjo said he personally found the Southwest PDP celebration of Mr. Kashamu, who was a major financier of the party, unsavory. Politics played by any national political party must have morality, decency, discipline, principle, and leadership example as cardinal practice of the party. He said, "I have attached here recent document that clearly indicates that you extol PDP zonal leader in the southwest of Nigeria and an indigenous of Ogun State who is, to say the least, not a credit to the party as a member, let alone being a zonal leader. While I believe that a good and truly national political party must be a microcosm of the nation in its membership, made up of all sort of character from near saints to near Satan. I also believe that on no account should a known habitual criminal that is wanted abroad to face criminal charges leveled against him be extolled as a political leader in the respectable and wholesome nation building political party." Mr. Kajamu tore back at Obasanjo at the time while arguing that the former president had no moral right to attack anyone. The politician said Mr. Obasanjo used to wrestle power from former Governor Benga Daniels, who was then a thorn in Mr. Obasanjo's political career. He said Mr. Obasanjo dumped him thereafter and then began plotting his extradition to the United States. That was a long read. And based on the what you have heard, Obasanjo is an outspoken person at a time when so many people came hunting and saying all manner of things. I thought he was going to slip into depression, but hey, as you all know, a former military man, he doesn't give a hoot. And for him, I think I'm of his school of thought when it comes to talking about the dead. As much as we must not talk ill of the dead, but at the same time, it's overly important for us to go down memory lane and begin to evaluate the life the person had lived and learn lessons from it. And if possible, communicate the same message to other persons out there so that they don't end up making the mistake the person made. For example, when Anini died, a mother wants to talk about Anini. Would you begin to press him? You can't press Anini because it was a horrible thief who plagued the lives of people the way he likes, so you can't begin to talk good about him. Imagine somebody like Sh0ck, who is really troubling the whole nation and causing most family, to lose their loved ones. They maybe find out we hear he had been shot dead by Nigerian police or Nigerian military, and someone said you shouldn't talk ill of the dead and all of that. It makes no sense. As much as we know, don't talk ill of the dead, but learn lessons from him. And we've had some respondents here from the different quarters. I'm going to read like one or two and then call it a day. All right, this one here says, it says here, I saw the insensitive comment of many Nigerians when Abakari and Ajimobi died of COVID-19 on social media, mentioning that they had the opportunity to reform our health sector, but they didn't. Buruji Kashamu died at the same ailment. Obasanjo registered his condolence, though blunt, and Nigerians started lambasting him. Obasanjo actually said the truth, though he isn't holy. The same Nigerians that didn't respect the dead when Kiari and Jimobi died were calling on Obasanjo to respect the dead. It is so glaring that many Nigerians have been reduced to partisan mind. We have been cultured to loathe the ruling party and sympathize and be sympathetic to the opposition, following that they are all the same. And I want you to go to our comment section. Let us interact. What do you think about the response of uh, President Olusegun Obasanjo, former President Olusegun Obasanjo? Do you think that his words were good enough for